Okay. So let me, I'm going to switch to .cam, and I was kind of distracted with the technical difficulties. So if I could get one person to summarize for me, what am I testing?
For our levels of the amounts of bleach would be 30 milliliters, 40, 45, 47, and 48.
Okay, so how about unknown B? In the same order.
30, 30, 20, 15, 13, and 12.
Are we all in agreement? Okay, so I like the idea that you guys are working this out like as a big group, which is fine. I think we kind of simulated the idea of like separate lab tables last time well enough. The thing is, you can't stay in the same room with me and listen to YouTube at the same time. So I need you to pop into a breakout room. I don't know if everybody just wants to go to breakout room 1 or something, because it'll create a weird like audio loop if you stay here. And I will work on doing these. If anything goes out, please somebody come back and tell me, like if the video stops working or something. So you should still be able to get into breakout rooms. I think they're still open, just unassigned, where you can go in for yourself. Does anybody not have an updated Zoom and need to be moved?
I don't have that.
Okay. Pulling up to breakout rooms. So I saw Ava raise her hand. I'll do you first. Who else came in? Jared. Sia. Dylan.
Apparently my Zoom is not updated.
If you, it's up to you if you want to like stay here or go to the room with the kids. Maybe it's probably better if you go to the room with the kids. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Either way, I would think that was true as well.
Hold on. Let's go ahead and get the kids in there and we'll figure that out. Camden, did you need to be moved too? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I can leave this on, Debbie, and then you would just mute the YouTube and we can hang out in here, or yeah. Okay. It's just like the audio thing, you know. Camden, you should, okay. Okay. All right. So those of you who are not signed into your Learn account on YouTube, if you could chat here, can you hear me on the YouTube? Is the YouTube audio working? Thank you guys. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started then. We're going to do 30 milliliters of bleach and 30 milliliters of solution B. So first, safety goggles. Then we're going to pour 30 milliliters of reagent A, our bleach. Oh, looking at the wrong side of the beaker there. Or graduate cylinder. 30 milliliters. All right, we'll go ahead and put that in our cup. And then we will measure out 30 milliliters of our unknown solution B. So as a reminder to, mostly I guess talking to those of you who missed it last time, we always want to make sure we record the initial temperature first, and then we're going to record the temperature after the reaction happens. That way we can really focus on the heat that's evolved in the reaction. So let me first get you the initial temperature. I'm going to stir this around a little bit. I'm seeing 19.0 degrees Celsius. Level 1, 30 milliliters of bleach is 19.0 degrees Celsius. Since both of these substances have been laying out at room temperature, the same area for the same time, we would assume that is also the initial temperature of our unknown solution B. I'm not going to double check that because it would contaminate my thermometer. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix these two things together, and we will be looking for our temperature at the end of the reaction. Solution B going in. All right, I'm going to read off our temperatures. 19.6, 22.8, 26.0, 26.7, 26.8, 27.0, 27.0, 27.0, and still 27.0. So for level 1, 30 milliliters of bleach and 30 milliliters of solution B, we have a final temperature of 27.0 degrees Celsius. All right. On to level 2. For level 2, we want 40 milliliters of bleach. So measuring that out. Alrighty, put that in our cup. From reagent A, our 40 milliliters of bleach. Now let's go ahead and pre-measure our 20 milliliters of unknown B. Okay, so before I take a new temperature for reagent A, I want to wipe off any contaminants from our last trial. And we're going to take a new initial temperature for our second level, 20 milliliters of bleach to, 40 milliliters of bleach to 20 milliliters of unknown B. That initial temperature is now 18.7 degrees Celsius. 18.7 degrees Celsius. Staying constant. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour in my solution B. And we get 23.9, 28.4, 29.0, 29.3, 29.4, 29.4, 29.4, 29.5, 29.5, still 29.5. Holding steady at 29.5 maximum temperature for level 2. All right, on to level 3. So for level 3, we want 45 milliliters of bleach. Okay, putting that in my cup. And then 15 milliliters of our unknown. Here we go. Kind of hard to reach there. I think I got it. Actually, sorry, a little bit more. All right, 15 milliliters. Oh, first we need our initial temperature. Let me wipe off the thermometer. Okay, so initial temperature for level 3, which is 45 milliliters of bleach and 15 milliliters of solution B. Initial temperature is 18.7 degrees Celsius. All right, now we're going to pour in reagent B. 25.7, 29.4, 30.1, 30.5, 30.6, 30.6, 30.6, still 30.6. So final temperature for this level is 30.6 degrees Celsius. All right, on to level 4. Wipe off our thermometer. All right, so for level 4, we want 47 milliliters of bleach. So I'm going to be real precise here. Okay, I got it. 47 milliliters of bleach going into the cup of our reagent A. Now for unknown B, we want 13 milliliters. So, and we're going to be real close to the bottom here. Want to be real careful. 13 milliliters. Oh, and I definitely overshot that. We'll use a little cup. Ten, 11, 12, just a little bit more. There we go. 13 milliliters. 47 to 13, level 4. First, we need to get our initial temperature. Okay. Sorry, let me move this. Okay, so initial temperature for level 4. We've got 18.7 degrees Celsius. All right, so mixing in reagent B. 24.3, 29.0, 29.9, 30.0, 30.2, 30.3, 30.4, 30.4, still 30.4, still 30.4. So final temperature for level 4 with 47 milliliters of bleach and 13 milliliters of reagent B is 30.4 degrees Celsius. So that's level 4. One level left. Level 5. So here we're going to measure just 1 more milliliter of bleach and 1 less milliliter of reagent B. So 48 milliliters of bleach and 12 milliliters of reagent B. So I'm going to be real careful here. Oh, wow. Oops. Let's put you back where you belong before I get confused. Okay, so we're at 45, 46, 47. Let's see, I think I'm there. 45, 46, 47. Man, what I could do with the pipette right now. Just one more little drop. There we go. Let's see. Did I overshoot it? No, it's perfect. 46, 47, 48. Okay, 48 milliliters of reagent A, our bleach, into our cup. And now we want 12 milliliters of reagent B, our unknown. Okay, we're at 11. That's 12. Okay. So we got our 48 milliliters of bleach and our 12 milliliters of reagent B. Let me wipe off our thermometer. And let's go with our initial temperature for our bleach. Oh, getting a little warmer in here. This time we're starting at 19.0 degrees Celsius. 19.0 degrees Celsius, initial temp for level 5. Now we're going to add our reagent B. 25.7, 29.1, 30.2, 30.6, 30.7, 30.8, 30.8, 30.9, 30.9, 30.9. I think we plateaued here. We are at 30.9. 30.9 degrees Celsius final temperature for level 5. 48 milliliters of bleach and 12 milliliters of solution P. There's our first trial of our 5 new levels. If you could go ahead and mute your YouTube and come back to Zoom, you guys can discuss where to go from here. Closing the rooms. It's going to kick you out in like 10 seconds. All right, so the next thing that you have to figure out is what this means. So our original goal was, is it 1 to 3 or 1 to 4? So what do you think we have figured out from here? I'm going to shut up and let you guys try to work on that.
So just want to check on my data really quick. So for the 45 milliliter, we got 18.7 to 30.6, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And for 48, we got 19.0 to 30.9.
Yes.
Okay. Is it just fear? Is that the same amount difference? Oh God. Okay. So my assumption would be that we need more data.
We could do a trial with just those 2 ratios, right? That way we can determine what the peak is. We don't need to do all 5.
Okay, so just basically redo them.
Yeah. Hopefully one of those is bigger.
Well, in order to have sufficient data, you probably want to have 3 trials of all 5 points.
Well, I mean, like,
Yeah, I was gonna say like, oh, ideally we would have had 3 trials for every level to begin with.
I'm sorry I didn't find these earlier. As I was fighting with those last 2 levels, I was like, dang, I need a pipette. I have some. So we can redo things if you want to, or get additional data if you think the last 2 are too close. I can be more precise with these pipettes.
Okay, so should we make any changes to the numbers we decided on, or should we just do like 2 more trials?
Yeah, 2 more trials will sort it out.
If you change the numbers, you're gonna have to do all 3 trials again. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and say that this is experimental error, and we're gonna do. That's the purpose of trials, to reduce errors. So.
Okay, let's give it a shot then.
So what are we thinking?
Actually, Adult had brought up a question in the chat. Should we do that? Should we redo the last 2 with the pipettes?
I mean, if we're going to do the last 2 with pipettes, shouldn't we just do all of them with pipettes?
So, okay, so do you guys want to redo the last 2 and then also do 2 more trials?
Ms. O'Neill, was it only, like, inaccurate for the last 2, or were all of them, like, they were close?
I'm nervous I'm going to give away a little too much with this, but I do feel like it's kind of my fault. I think your earlier data points are far enough apart that you're going to still get a decent trend line, but with the proximity of the data at the end there, I feel like precision is a little more important there. My 2 cents.
Yeah, we could redo with the pipettes and then just go for trials 2 and 3 from there.
So you want to redo levels 4 and 5 for trial 1 right now. Start there. Okay. So you want to go back into breakout rooms for me to do that. Open. And even if I had to assign you last time, you should still be able to go in now. Okay. Where'd my goggles go? Okay. Are you guys stuck? Can't find the button? Luca and Camden? Luca, all technology working, yes, there will be a recording. Like last time it was able to record straight to YouTube. I was able to post it from there. If not, I will get data just in case. Camden, are you having any issues? Okay, well, let me know if you are, and I will try to help. Okay, let's keep going, guys. So we're going to redo our levels 4 and 5. So with level 4, we wanted 47 milliliters of bleach. So I think I'm going to go to about 45 and then pipette the rest. Okay, so I'm very close to 45 here. 46. 47. I was doing 47, right? Yeah. Okay. So there's 47 of our bleach. Go ahead and put that in our styrofoam cup. And then for reagent B, I'm going to use 13 milliliters. So I'll go to about 10 and then pipette the rest. Keep the pipette separate. Okay. So we're at 11. I'm having a really hard time with this one. 11 is there, 12 is there, 13, so just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, so I've got 47 and 13 measured to a much greater degree of care and precision with that pipette. Okay, let's swipe this off just in case. Can't remember if I did that last time. Let's get our initial temperature for our new level 4 trial 1 is going to be 19.0 degrees Celsius. So we're going to add our reagent B. 19.1, 27.0, 30.2, 30.4, 30.6. Jumped up real quick there. 30.7. 30.7, 30.7, still 30.7. I'm going to say 30.7 is the final temperature for level 4. All right. Now we want 48 and 12. So again, I'm going to go to about 45, and then I'll do the rest with the pipette. So I'm a little over 45, but not quite to 46 right now. There's 46, 47. There we go, to 48. All right, we need a new cup. So reagent A, 48 milliliters here. All right, now for reagent B, we want exactly 12 milliliters. So I'm going to try to go to 10. All right, and now let's pipette. And 11. Actually, almost hit 12 by accident. Just one more little drop. There we go. Perfect. There's 12 milliliters. All right, let's get our temperatures. So this is our new trial 1, level 5, 48 milliliters of bleach and 12 milliliters of unknown B. 1 second. There we go. All right. Our initial temperature is 19.0 degrees Celsius. So now I'm going to add in reagent B. 25.4, 29.4, 30.4, 30.6, 30.7, 30.8, 30.9, 30.9, 31.0, 31.0, 31.0. So I'm going to say the final temperature for level 5 is 31.0. All right. Let's come back to the main room and try to figure out where to go from here. Okay, so go ahead and discuss.
So we now have one that's higher than the other, but it's not by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 47 doesn't help make a trend.
We launched 3 trials anyway.
It went up, right?
It did go up.
Yeah, it's
It
in
went up
between.
by 0.1.
Yeah, but that's it didn't add very much volume. It fits the trend now.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I can make a graph out of that.
Okay, I mean, in terms of like uncertainty with the thermometer, would that be within? Because then I don't know if it counts as like definitively higher.
Well, that's why we want 3 trials. It should give us a better idea of like what the actual trend is versus what might just be uncertainty because of the thermometer.
Okay.
So, how did using the pipette influence the uncertainty of the volume?
Doesn't.
It shouldn't influence the uncertainty of the instrument itself. It just helps you get a more precise measurement within the graduated cylinder.
Okay.
It's harder to go like over, if that makes sense.
I see.
Oh wait, actually, since the third level had a lower initial temperature, didn't it actually have a greater increase in temperature than the fourth level?
No, but that's what we're talking about.
It doesn't go.
But like below.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So
We
it's
can
just
redo that one too. Like, should we redo that one as well? I know it's nice percents, but like, it is pretty close to 47, 48 degrees.
I feel like we might
It's
as
just variability. Just don't worry. I think
Yeah, just move
get
on to
3
the next
trials
round.
done.
Hope it'll take care of itself.
Excel will do the magic for us.
Okay, so just 2 more trials, see how it goes.
Okay, so before we move forward, do you know if it's 1 to 3? I forget what's first. 1 to 3, 3 to 1, whatever. Do you know if it's 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 right now?
Based off of this, it's 4 to 1.
Are you sure?
Yes, 5.1.
How do you know?
I think we need another trial to determine that, considering the one in between the two doesn't necessarily give us a clear trend.
That's true.
Both kind of peaks, and so we can't necessarily determine that one's significantly higher than the other yet. I think we should do a couple more trials to see where the trend takes us.
Okay, but stick.
For sure. I'm saying like just stop here. I was just basing that off the data.
So the data that you have supports leaning towards the peak at a 4 to 1. So you want to just repeat these exact same 5 levels one more time? That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Back to the breakout rooms. Let me open them. There you go. I'll go ahead and start measuring out the first one. Oh. Ooh, too much. All right, so that's 30 of our bleach. Good. And 30. Let's see, did everybody make it into breakout rooms? Yes. Okay, awesome. Looking good. So I've got 30 milliliters of each measured out in the graduated cylinders right now. Switch this guy out. So now I'm going to take reagent A, the 30 milliliters of bleach, and pour into a styrofoam cup. And we will wipe off our thermometer and get our initial temperature. So this is trial 2, level 1, 19.1 degrees Celsius. Still getting a little bit warmer in here, it seems like. 19.1 degrees Celsius. Keep in mind we're interested in how much heat the reaction actually produces. So we're starting at 19.1 this time. Okay, adding in reagent B. 19.6, 26.4, 26.6, 26.7, 26.8, 26.9, 26.9, 27.0, 27.0, 27.0, 27.0, still 27.0. So final temperature for trial 2, level 1. Now let's move on to trial 2, level 2, which is going to be 40-20. 41st here with our reagent A, which we know is bleach. There we go. 40 milliliters there going into our new cup. Okay, and then here we want 20 milliliters of unknown B. Okay. Looks good to me. Try not to touch my jeans. Okay. Initial temperature, level 2. We're back to 19.0. So a little bit of temperature fluctuation. Make sure you record your initial temperatures. 19.0 degrees Celsius. All right, adding in reagent B. 22.0, 28.0, 29.1, 29.4, 29.6, 29.7, 29.7, 29.7. So this seems to be our plateau here. Maximum temperature for level 2, 40 milliliters of bleach, 20 milliliters of reagent B, 29.7 degrees Celsius. All right, now to level 3, 45 milliliters of reagent A. Perfect. Going into our styrofoam cup. And then 15 milliliters of reagent B. Oops. Okay, let me just splashed a little here. And I'll finish this off with the pipette. Going for 15 milliliters. We're at about 13. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry, I'm misreading this. I went over. Let me pour some out. Okay. So now I'm back to about 10. Now let's go up from here. Not quite there yet. Okay, there we go. 15 milliliters of reagent B. All right, let's get our temperatures. So initial temperature first for level 3. 19.0 degrees Celsius, 19.1 degrees Celsius. Hold and steady at 19.1 degrees Celsius. So the initial temperature for level 3 this time is 19.1 degrees Celsius. All right. Adding reagent B. 24.0, 29.3, 30.6, 31.0, 31.1, 31.1, 31.1, 31.2, 31.1, 31.2, 31.2, 31.2, 31.2. Okay, calling it. Final temperature, 31.2. All right. So keep track there. So now we're going to do level 4. Level 4 and 5 are real close, so we're going to be real careful. We're going to wipe off our thermometer. Okay, so now we want 47 degrees. So I'm going to get close to about 45 and then pipette. Okay. So I'm actually short of 45, so this will probably take a couple spurts. I'm right at 45 now. So there's 46. There's 47. Okay. So 47 in our new cup. 47 milliliters of reagent A, or bleach. Okay, now we want 13 milliliters of reagent B, or unknown. All right, so there's 10. Actually, a little under 10. So it's just barely over 10. There's 11, 12, not quite 13, but almost. Okay, there's our 13. Okay. So initial temperature seems kind of high. All right, 19.1. Still 19.1. Okay, so 19.1 initial temperature for bleach. 19.1. Adding reagent B. This is again level 5. 23.0, 28.5, 30.1, 30.6, 30.7, 30.8, 30.9, 30.9, 30.9. Staying steady here, still 30.9. 30.9, final temperature for level 5. All right, that'll do it. Wait, that's not level 5. That's level 4. That's why I have a system. Sorry. That was our final temperature for level 4. We still need to do level 5. My bad. Now for level 5, we need 48 and 12. Slightly different. All right. So we're going to go to 45 first. Close. Went a little bit over. So here's our 45, 46, 47. Actually, already at 47, so I just need a little bit more. Okay, there we go. 48. Okay, new cup. It's reagent A, 48 milliliters of bleach. So now we need 12 milliliters of reagent B. So I'm going to go ahead and pour out 10. It's a little under 10, so I might take a couple squirts, but I want to be careful. Okay, I think I just hit 10. So there's 11. Barely short of 12, like 2 more drops. There we go. There's 12. Okay, so let's get our initial temperature. This time we are at 19.4 degrees Celsius. It's kind of weird that it's getting warmer in here with the time of day, but we have to have the AC off because it makes too much noise, so it kind of makes sense. So 19.4 degrees Celsius starting temperature this time. Staying steady at 19.4. Okay, adding reagent B. 23.0, 28.7, 30.5, 31.0, 31.1, 31.2, 31.3, 31.4, 31.4, staying steady at 31.4. Final temperature for actual level 5, 31.4. There we go. So we're 2 trials in now. Let's go ahead and come back to the main room and figure out what's next. All right, so feel free to discuss.
So this one we have the same difference of 0.1, but it's leaning towards the other ratio. So
That's a yikes.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, Adalia wants to redo the third, level 1. And I don't think it's a bad idea now that we're realizing, we have,
Yeah, we can do that.
Do
What
we
kind of
use that
scenario
as
do you want to make a difference?
as time, like as we're going on, the initial temperature is getting warmer, so do I think if we go back, then it's going to be warmer than 2, or does it not matter because we're just finding a change in temperature?
I don't think it matters because we're just finding the change.
I don't want to send you guys back to the breakout room just to redo one thing though. So give me a little bit more to do.
Okay, so we'll redo that one and then go on to trial 3. Yeah?
Same levels?
Yeah.
Okay. So redo third level would be 4515. Okay, so I'll start with redoing a 4515 and then I will say, okay, now that's the end of the redo. And now we'll start trial 3 and we'll go through the whole thing again. Sound like a plan? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start measuring. Let me know if you guys get stuck. It's 45. Okay. Feeling good about that being 45 milliliters. Now let's do 15 over here. See ya, honey, are you stuck? There should be a button at the bottom to click on breakout rooms. It looks like 4 squares. Okay, there's 15. So I got my 45 and my 15 measured. Sia, can you get to the breakout room, hun? Okay, I don't want to hold anyone up. Hopefully we'll have a recording for you if you miss something. So I'm going to go ahead, guys, and start with this trial. I'm splattering a little bit. I'm just going to clean up my workstation a little bit. And I'm going to use fresh paper towel to wipe off my thermometer. And a new cup. All right. So first, region A, we're redoing trial 1, level 3, 45 milliliters of bleach. So that is going to now have a new initial temperature of 19.4 degrees Celsius. Yep, 19.4 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to add my 15 milliliters of reagent B. And we got 27.0, 29.6, 30.6, 31.0, 31.3, 31.4, 31.4, 31.5, 31.5, 31.5, 31.5. Seems to be holding steady at 31.5 degrees Celsius. So that is going to be our new trial 1, level 3. All right. So that was our one redo that we wanted to do. Now, clean slate, we're going to start trial 3. So third run through of the original 5 levels, starting with 30-30. Okay, there's 30. Now 30 of unknown B. Okay, that's looking like 30 as well. All right, so new cup. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in reagent A, 30 milliliters. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my new initial temperature, which this time is actually 19.5. Nope, sorry, went back down, 19.4. Staying at 19.4. Yep, still 19.4. Okay, so let's go ahead and pour in reagent B. 22.6, 26.5, 27.0, 27.1, 27.2, 27.3, 27.3, 27.4, 27.4, 27.4, holding steady at 27.4. So for trial 3, level 1, our final temperature is 27.4. All right. Next temperature for level 2, not next temperature, next volume ratio. We have 40 milliliters of our unknown bleach. I may have to pour some more here in a second. I think I'm gonna make it. Here we go. There we go, perfect. Actually, I overshot it a little bit, not perfect. There we go. Okay. So 40 milliliters of our reagent A bleach, and now 20 milliliters of our unknown B. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and in our new cup, put in our bleach, reagent A, wipe off our thermometer. Let's get our new initial temperature. Okay, we got 19.4 degrees Celsius. 19.4 degrees Celsius. Adding in reagent B. 19.7, 28.0, 29.6, 29.8, 30.0, 30.0, 30.0, 30.1, 30.1, 30.1, 30.2. Oh, back to 30.1. Back up to 30.2. Fighting. Right now it's bouncing back and forth between 30.1 and 30.2. Now it's holding steady, 30.2. 30.2 degrees Celsius. Still at 30.2 degrees Celsius. So we'll call that 30.2 degrees Celsius for level 2, which was 40 milliliters of bleach, 20 milliliters of reagent B. Now we want 45 milliliters of bleach. So I think I'm gonna need to pour a little more bleach and give it a little shake. And refill my mass supply here. Spilled a little. Okay. So now 45 milliliters of bleach. Wow, that's actually exactly perfect. Like super perfect. Yay. So now we got 15 milliliters of reagent B. This guy. To move you. All right, now we'll switch over to the pipette. I'm at about 10, 11. Okay. So hard to read at the bottom. So there's 10. There we go. Okay. So actually, I think I'm at 15 right now. I was wrong about being at 10 a second ago. I was a little over. So now I'm at 15. Okay, so now I have 45 and 15 in my graduated cylinder. So now we're going to take a new cup. We're going to go ahead and pour in reagent A. Wipe off our thermometer. And get our initial temperature for level 3, trial 3. Now we are at 19.0 degrees Celsius. Notice what I did right before pouring this bleach. This is why we record initial temperatures. Right now I'm at 19.0 degrees Celsius. This is my initial temperature. So now I'm going to go ahead and pour in reagent B. 20.0, 26.2, 29.8, 30.6, 30.9, 31.0, 31.0, 31.0, 31.0. Still holding steady at 31.0. So that's going to do it for trial 3, level 3. 45 milliliters of bleach and 15 milliliters of reagent B. 31.0. All right, now for those last two tricky ones. So we want 47 milliliters of reagent A. So I'm right around the 45 now. So we'll pipette the rest. Here's 46. And 47. All right, now we want 13 milliliters of reagent B. Let's keep everything kind of separated. Bring in reagent B now. So 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and switch to the pipette. Just a little bit short still. Okay, there we go. So I've got my reactants smoothed out. New cup. Oh, I think I already had a new cup. New cup. We have reactant A we're going to go ahead and put in here. And then we need a new initial temperature. And this one is also still at 19.0. 19.0. Yeah, initial temperature, definitely 19.0. Adding in reactant B. 26.6, 29.0, 29.1, 29.0, 29.1, 29.2, 29.3, 29.4, 29.5, 29.6, 29.7, 29.8, 29.9, 30. Like 30.0, sorry. 30.1, 30.2, 30.3, 30.4, 30.5, 30.6, 30.7, 30.8, 30.9, 31.0. I think we might have hit the plateau. Nope, 31.1, 31.2, 31.3, 31.4, 31.5, 31.6. Can't believe it's still going up. 31.7, 31.8, 31.9, 32.0. Back down to 31.9. Still at 31.9. Still at 31.9. So I'm gonna let you guys figure out what the final temperature should be on that one, since it kind of popped up for a second and then went back down. You figure out what to do with that. On to level 5. So the 5th level is 48 milliliters of bleach and 12 milliliters of reagent B. So there's roughly 45. $46, $47. A little more. There's 48. Now we want 12 here. For reactant B or reagent B. Oh, I went a little over 10. Actually, I'm right in between 11 and 12 already, so I don't need much more. Okay. So there we go. We have our reactants measure. Let's go ahead and put reactant A into our cup. Wipe off our thermometer. Get our new initial temperature, which again seems to be 19.0 degrees Celsius. All right, so since we're at 19.0 degrees Celsius, let's go ahead and add in reagent B, 21.4, 25.9, 28.0, 28.8, 28.7, 28.8, 29.0, 29.1, 29.2, 29.4, 29.6, 29.7, 29.8, 29.9, 30.0, 30.0, 30.1, 30.2, 30.3, 30.4, 30.5, 30.6, 30.6, 30.7, 30.8, 30.9, 31.0, 31.0, 31.0, staying constant at 31.0. So we'll call that on level 5. final temperature for level 5, 48 milliliters of bleach and 12 milliliters of reactant. All right, so now we have 3 trials, 5 levels. Let's come back and see what we think now. There are a lot of important decisions that need to be made right now, so Ms. Dylan and I are going to stay out of it and leave it to you guys.
In comparing trial or levels 4 and 5, for this trial, I think for the final number for level 4, I said 31.9, but that would make it a bigger difference. And I'm not sure if we want that then at level 5. So I don't know if it was going up and down for that one. So what did you guys have a different number for the final temperature for level 4?
Anyone got input on level 4?
I don't know, because our options are 31.9 or 32.0. So like we should like manipulate the data to like change it or whatever, but 31.9 does make our difference like better.
It's still greater than level 3 and 5, which is different than the first 2 trials. So I don't think it matters that
Right,
much.
I don't think it matters, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. It's just going to be an outlier no matter which number we go with.
Exactly.
Okay, that's okay. Thanks,
We
guys.
can have. This trial was the best.
Yeah, so the other 2 trials showed that our like level 3 would be the best ratio, but this one they like tied.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same like change in
They have the
temperature.
exact same change.
We did a greater like total volume. Would that make the temperature differences greater because there's more reactants?
I
When
think.
did they change the volume?
I'm just
What do
saying,
you mean?
if we did change the volume, would it like make it so that we didn't have such close change in temperatures?
You mean if we had a bigger total volume?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We can't like make any conclusions from this data, so you kind of have to, right?
We can lean towards level 3.
Because we have 2 trials that like
Yeah, we have 2 trials. But it is very close.
Like my only problem with making that conclusion is that it's like the uncertainty of the thermometer is 0.1. So it's like if it was outside of that, it'd be pretty fine.
Yeah, that's the concern. We don't exactly have enough time to redo the whole thing with a bigger volume. So,
would adding a trial like past level 5 help? Like if we just added like 1 more level, would that help show that like the level 3 is the highest?
I don't.
so what's the argument for trial 3 supporting 3 to 1?
Well, it had 2 delta T's of 12.1 and 1 of 12.0, and no other level had anything higher than 12.0. So technically, it does have the most. It did give off the most T, but it's within 0.1 of level 5. But level 5 didn't have any 12.1s, so technically, you could argue that level 3 gave off more T.
Okay, so we just need to figure out. Okay, so Ms. O'Neill's offering to give us extra data, so we just decide on a peak. So 3 to 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 to 1 would be a peak.
Oh no.
I feel like what we should do is we should increase the total volume to 80, and then we should just test the 3 to 1 and the 4 to 1 ratio, and then that way we can hopefully we'll have greater
I have
change.
time for that, and then we have to like redo all of our other like values too, right?
Yeah, I don't know that it would be I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but I feel like it'd be a bit strange just to have the 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because all we need is to determine a peak, and then once we have the peak, we can set up data points and then set up data points that have a nice graph. You know, we don't need like.
But if we're using a different total volume, can we even put it on the same graph? Is that
No, we can't because it's no longer a control.
exactly?
Well, I'm saying that we wouldn't use. I don't really think we can, because anyways, if we did choose a peak, then we'd have to get more data, right? For the 3 to 1, we'd have to have 5 data points on that first line.
Well, she's giving us
to
more.
2,000 units.
Once we choose the peak, she's giving us some more data for that.
Also, assuming the fact that she put a frowny face in the chat means that we're wrong, and therefore it's the other one. So I feel like at this point,
I mean, if we
Justify
redo
that.
something, if we want to redo something, we should probably redo the ones that make it not make sense
but
until.
we've already redone those ones and got data that like proves the other way.
Yeah, I mean, we redid the trial once, but if you like really want to do something, we can definitely redo. We have enough time, I mean, to do like redo the level 3 for trials 2 and 3, I guess.
I mean, yes, but I'm also feeling a creeping sense of like, is it gonna help? You know, we've redone. We've tried the tactic of redoing. I mean, it's an option. I'm not denying that at all. I'm not sure if I don't know.
I agree. I don't think redoing level 3 would be helpful. We've done that enough times.
Okay, well, let's go with doing the 80 then. I mean, just to, I don't know, maybe get 2 data points just to find a peak. And I'm not entirely sure what we would do with the data after that point, though.
Yeah, I was just about to ask Kelly's question, like, how do we put that in the lab report?
Yeah.
I don't get your question, really.
Okay, say we make the argument using this new data that the peak is 4-1 because this data corresponds to that. How do you incorporate this data into the lab report, but not into the graph?
You could still use the data that you have. This 80 could be a way to help us determine what the peak is and help us figure out how we want to interpret the data that we already have.
Yes, but if we make a conclusion based off of data we don't include in the report, like formally, how can we argue that our conclusion is correct?
Well, no,
We'd have to figure out how to argue it based off the data we have. But once you know the answer, that might be a little easier.
So if we like use the 80 and then we get it leans towards like the 4-to-1 ratio, then we would just use like that.
I mean, but then what's the point of doing the 80 in the first place if we know the answer is 4-1? We would just have to.
We have to prove it somehow.
But we can't prove it. We're not including these data points.
Right, we have to include it in order to prove it. So
Yeah.
we have to include it in the report somehow.
So if we don't include it in the report and we just do the tests, but we use these data points to argue our point, but we don't include it in the lab report, there's no point in doing these data points.
Well, just because the data points wouldn't prove the conclusion that we're saying we're making. There's no way that we can just manipulate the data to go our direction, you know?
Yeah.
So so maybe we can just do the 80 to see if we get the right one. And then yeah, just put it in the report, but maybe not in the graph. Worth a shot.
Okay, we are kind of running short on time. We're getting close to, it's already 5. So let's go ahead and try this idea. Like I feel like it's a good idea to test your 3-to-1 and your 4-to-1 so that we can get an idea of where the graph is. And then we can have what I think is the most important discussion out of this entire process. How do we now get sufficient data to prove our point? So let's go ahead and pop in the breakout rooms. I know I said I didn't want to go back for 1 point, but just time sensitive. Let's do that real quick and then pop back. Oh, actually, Dylan, hang out for a second. I missed what actual volumes you said to do of each one.
Do 60 milliliters of bleach, 40 milliliters of the unknown, and then do 64 milliliters of bleach, and then 16 milliliters of the unknown.
Okay, 16. Okay, so 2 levels. Got it. Thanks. Okay, so it looks like we're doing 2 levels here. First, the actual 4-to-1 ratio with bleach to B, 60 milliliters of bleach to 20 milliliters of unknown B. This is gonna make a mess. There we go. I'm a little bit over. All right, there's exactly 60. And then we want to do exactly 20. Unknown B. Okay. That's a little over 2. I'm not going to be able to pipette that out. Pull a little out and pipette back in. I think I poured way too much out. And hopefully at 15 milliliters. There we go, getting close. Okay, top of the meniscus is at 20. There we go. So now we've got 60 milliliters of bleach and 20 milliliters of unknown B. We're going to put that in a new cup. There we go. Let's wipe off our thermometer because I can't remember if I did that last time. Get our initial temperature. I got 19.0 still. 19.0 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in solution B. 22.0, 28.6, 30.0, 30.7, 31.0, 31.0, 31.0, 31.1, 31.1, 31.2, 31.3, 31.3, 31.3. Staying steady at 31.3. So 31.3 is our top temperature for 60 milliliters of bleach and 20 milliliters of unknown B. There's one other ratio that came up. 64 milliliters of bleach to 16 milliliters of unknown B. So first our bleach. Okay, so I'm right around 60. I'm going to do the rest with the pipette. Getting close. There we go. Yep, 64. Got our new cup. So there's our 64 milliliters of bleach. And here we want 16 milliliters of unknown B. Oops. Again, I did too much. Goes so fast. Okay. So I'm back down to a little under 15. Right at 15. Okay, there we go. 16. All right. So let's get our initial temperature. All right, so initial right now is still 19.0. So 19.0 degrees Celsius. Pouring in solution B, 19.5, 26.3, 26.6, 28.1, 28.4, 28.5, 28.6, 28.7, 28.8, 28.9, 29.0. I went up fast. 29.1, 29.2, 29.3, 29.4, 29.5, 29.6, 29.7, 29.8, 29.9, 30.0, 30.1, 30.2, 30.3, 30.4, 30.5, 30.6, 30.8, 30.9, 30.9, 30.9, 31.0, 31.2, 31.3, 31.3, 31.4, 31.5, 31.5, 31.5, 31.6, deceptive plateaus, 31.6, still 31.6. This one seems to be climbing slowly, so I'm going to give it a little bit of extra time. 31.6 still. 31.6. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're staying steady now at 31.6. So final temperature for 64 milliliters.